For the second successive game in the 2015 Football Championship, London had home advantage. Croke Park was the venue when these sides last met in the qualifiers in 2013. London started brightly, David McGreevy with the game's opening point. The early slender advantage was quickly cancelled out by Niall Murray. Cavan's lead stood at 3 points before Alan O'Hara's score. Tomas Corr, Michael Argue, Niall McDermott, Niall Murray and Fergal Flanagan were all involved in the build-up before McDermott himself increased the lead to 10-3. At half-time, Cavan held an 11 points to 4 lead. When former Cavan footballer Lorcan Mulvey pointed, London were back to within 5 points. Cavan lost fullback Rory Dunn to a leg injury, which will end his involvement in the remainder of the championship. Play was held up for 10 minutes as a result. Good work from Kieran Brady led to Cavan's first goal. He picked out Michael Argue. Declan Traynor did well to save, but Gearóid McKiernan was on hand to capitalise. Argue also had a big part to play in Cavan's second goal. He provided the pass for Dara McVitie. Cavan now in total control. In the 10 minutes of added time for the injury to Rory Dunn, London were reduced to 14 men. Cathal Green picked up his second yellow card of the game. In the end, it was a comfortable 17-point win for Cavan.
Cavan played very, very well. I think the break with the Cavan player that got injured didn't help us anyway. We were within 5 points then there straight after the second half had started, which was the way we came out, and I asked the lads to respond to the first half, and they did, and we were going well, but obviously gave ourselves too much to do. Cavan drove on at the end, but look, at our lads gave it everything. They tried their best second half, and you know, I just think the last 15 minutes, once they got the goal, just the heads went down a little bit, unfortunately, and we just didn't recover from it.
The lads adapted well. We were a little bit slow to start, but once settling into the pattern of the game, it worked out okay for us.
It was last chance saloon for both Waterford and Offaly at picturesque Fairfield Dungarvan, as the home side, who had won the McGrath Cup in January, were trying to bounce back from a big Munster Championship defeat to Tipperary without up to a dozen of the players used earlier in the season. Pat Flanagan's Offaly side had won Division 4 and promotion, but after defeating neighbours Longford in the league final, they lost to the same side in the Leinster Championship. But despite playing into the wind, the visitors raced into a 5 points lead inside the opening 5 minutes, with midfielder Graham Guilfoyle opening the scoring inside 30 seconds. And full forward Nigel Dunn, who would end the game with 8 points, putting over a couple of early efforts. Waterford got on the score sheet with this Mark Ferncombe shot after some good build-up play. But the Leinster side's corner forward Bernard Allen replied, adding a couple of scores to see his side 6 points in front. Then Tom McGlinchey's side lifted their efforts, with midfielder Tom Prendergast landing the score of the half. It gave the home side a big boost. And when Joey Veal was on the end of a move started by cornerback Dean Crowley, who fed Darren Geary for a fine goal, it helped the home side to win in a point of the lead, as Offaly led 9 points to 1-5 at half-time. But Offaly, now with wind assistance, took over after the break. Dunn continued to find his range from play and freeze, with centre-back Johnny Maloney scoring this fine point from out the field. Sub Peter Cunningham also got on the score sheet. But the home side only adding 2 points after the break, including this one from Liam Lawler. The game was over as a contest long before Anton Sullivan's effort went in off the hands of home goalkeeper Sean Barron for the last score of the game. Offaly move on to the next round of the qualifiers. For Waterford, it's one win in 15 years in the qualifiers. As it finished, Offaly 1 goal and 20 points, Waterford 1 goal and 7 points.
over the season so far, it's great to have got out of Division 4, and I said at the start of the year we needed to do that. That was the most important thing of all. Now we're on a new championship role here, so we want to go as far as we possibly can.
We lost players and, we battled hard, but, we just don't have the strength and depth to compete, and we didn't have it there today, even though we put up a good performance in the first half, but Offaly pulled away, kicked some great scores in the second half, and we're deserving winners.
It's interesting to hear the managers there, like Offaly have a positivity now again.
Well, they have, yeah. I saw Offaly playing in the Division 4 final against...
This championship should be questioned. What are your thoughts now after
the same thoughts. I mean, I wasn't that critical. I could have been a lot more critical, It was a very silly statement to make by a guy that should know better. I was disappointed with it. There's more to it than football.